Shalom. I'd like to start out by giving all glory, praise, and honor to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham, or Kakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of the Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elect of Israel. This is Thamayim in Atlanta, and read this article a while ago, but wanted to go back and take a look at some things, especially considering that whole tunnel thing has just been buried. You heard about it in the news the first 2 days or so, and now there's complete silence. But these things should not be forgotten about. Esau's still out here doing his wickedness, and especially Amalek. And at the same time, they're calling themselves the people of the Most High, and they are anything but. They're the ones that the Lord actually hates and completely hates. So you see this, the headline says the Child Grape Assembly line, and this came out in 2013. But since the tunnel thing, this has been brought up more and more because that's what it's seeming like they were doing. And we're not going to go through the whole thing. It's a pretty long article, and it's very, the words are very they're out there. It's pretty gruesome. It describes these acts actually being taken place and kind of turns your stomach because it's disgusting, and these people are disgusting. They've just put on a good show, a good smile, good suit in front of the world, and are calling themselves morally upright and the people of the Lord, but they're the basest of all mankind. They are not the people of the Lord. They are not good people. They are the wicked of the Bible. You see, the wicked in the Bible is speaking of them. It's also speaking to some of the other nations, even some of Israel, but overall it's speaking of the Edomites, and especially Amalek. They really are the least of the flock. But we're gonna do this clip right here in the middle, this paragraph that's pulled up, and it says the child S-word abuse crisis and ultra orthodox JJism like that in the Catholic Church has produced its share of shocking headlines in recent years. And so I'm trying to not get this video clipped by speaking in code, really. It says in New York and in the prominent Orthodox communities of Israel and London, allegations of child bothering and seizing have been rampant. So I replaced that M word and that R word. You should be able to fill in the blank. It says the alleged abusers are school teachers, rabbis, fathers, uncles, figures of male authority. And so this is a rampant act that goes on within these communities, just like the Catholics. But we hear about the Catholics all the time because there's really always something going on with them. But you rarely hear about it under these 1948ers, under these small hatters. You never hear about it. But it's going on. And it's probably even more than the Catholic Church and even more than the Protestants. It says the victims, like those of Catholic priests, are mostly boys. And so you take a look at Aleister Crowley in some of his writings. He was saying that taking a young boy is one of the lowest things you could do, but that actually gives them some of the highest powers within magic. So this is a form of Satanism, what they're doing here. They're sacrificing those boys in a S word type of way. It says Rabbi Rosenberg believes around half of young males in Brooklyn's Hasidic community, the largest in the U.S. and one of the largest in the world, have been victims of S-word assault perpetrated by their elders. So it's saying half of them have experienced this, and really even of the heathen, I don't want to hear about that. I don't want that to be going on within the world. It's disgusting. It's wrong. You really are, even if they're not completely putting that person out of their misery, they still are sacrificing who that person is with that type of abuse at such an early age. It's just evil. These are evil people. And it's hard to even read, really. This is terrible. It says Ben Hirsch, director of Survivors for Justice, a Brooklyn organization that advocates for Orthodox S-word abuse victims, thinks the real number is higher. From anecdotal evidence, we're looking at over 50%. It has almost become a rite of passage. And so you see these small hatters out here, especially in these ultra Orthodox communities. And now I'm just going to think, wow, that's probably a seizure victim, a R-word victim, because they have this assembly line going on. It's crazy, and it should be talked about more, and people should really open their eyes to the fact that these are not the people of the Lord. These are frauds, and they've tricked the whole world into believing that they are, but they're not. There's no righteousness within them in the least bit. And so just that stuck out to me a lot when reading this article, which it's a dirty article. You feel dirty even reading it. But this is what they're up to. This is the wickedness that they have been perpetrating throughout the earth. Let's get this. We're going to start out at Job 30 and verse 1. It says, "But now they that are younger than I have me in derision." That they that are younger than them, going into their insignificance, because, eventually they're going to be completely wiped off the face of the earth. But that's the ones that are younger than him are less significant. Those are the Edomites, the self-proclaimed white people, and these small hatters. They're one and the same. They're of the same nation. They try to distinguish themselves and do all this supposed DNA stuff to try to say that they are the people and to try to separate themselves from the rest of Edom, but they're all the same, and they're all wicked. It says, "Whose fathers I would have disdained to have set with the dogs of my flock, because of what they would do to those dogs." Very similar to what they do to those little boys. These are a disgusting people, and they have disgusting practices, and that's why you look out into the earth and it's full of alphabet lifestyles, and it's all over your TV and your media, and they push these things onto your children in school. They're doing that in a way to gosh, there's a word I'm trying to look for, but it's to set these children up to be fine with these acts taking place, and to be fine with, grooming, that's the word. They do that to groom people, and they do that to limit the population. It's also one of the tools they use for their depopulation agenda, as well as feminism, and even giving women voice allows for these type of things to exist, because who are the biggest supporters of the alphabet agenda? It's women. And women are really fine with everything that's not righteousness. But yeah, this is a filthy bunch of people, and they push their filthy philosophies throughout the earth. But the Lord's going to deal with them. It's the book of Hebrews, chapter 12, and verse 16. Lest there be any fornicator or profane person, profane being outside of the temple, as Esau being the self-proclaimed white man, and those small hatters, who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright. For you know how that afterward, when he would have inherited the blessing, he was rejected, for he found no place of repentance, though he sought it carefully with tears. And so they were rejected from this birthright, but they still proceed to try to put on like they're actually the people. They're not the people, and the Lord hates them. And they have no place within the covenant, within the promises, with the blessings, anything. They had their temporary blessing that Esau cried about and they received, but that blessing with the fatness of the earth and the power of the sword, it's all coming to an end, which is why they're being called out and exposed, and eventually they will be judged for it, and it's fast approaching. We're going to finish it here, Psalms 50, because they're making complete mockery of the Lord by calling themselves his people, and they should really look for that judgment to come, and swiftly. So Psalms chapter 50 and verse 16 says, "But unto the wicked the Most High saith." So I was saying earlier, that's the Edomites when you see the wicked speaking to you, and it's especially speaking to them right here. It says, "What hast thou to do to declare my statutes, that thou shouldest take my covenant in thy mouth?" And they have been controlling the words of the Bible. Yeah, especially those small hatters. They have other books that they use, like the filthy Talmud, which is probably where they got that idea from. But they've taken the Bible, they said it was theirs, they painted over all the pictures and put up images of their likeness, but they're within their spirit, they are completely adverse to what the scriptures are saying, to what the covenant and the laws are saying. And that's why they set up laws that are completely opposite to it. You can't even be righteous in this country because of the laws that are completely adverse to it, and that's just their spirit being adverse to the law, statutes, and commandments. But the Lord's asking them, how dare you? What are you even doing? You're going to have to be judged for this. Why would you even pick it up? It says, "Seeing thou hatest instruction, and castest my words behind thee." So they can't do right. They are crooked, and they can't be made straight, and they are being exposed, and it can't be stopped. They're going to be exposed, judged, and destroyed. And so, Lord willing, that was edifying. I'd like to give all glory, praise, and honor to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham, or Chakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of the Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elect of Israel. Shalom.